Hi everyone, we're sure that almost all of you know by now that sadly Pook's father passed away on the 4th of this month. He'd been ill for some time, and even though we knew that it was impossible for him to survive the illness, when the time came to say goodbye, it completely knocked us sideways. After a break from YouTube, we didn't really know how or where to get started again. And so we decided to post a tribute to Pook's dad and thank the thousands of you who sent messages of comfort to Pook and her family over the past few weeks. Thank you so much. Pook's father passed away at 10:25 p.m. on Sunday the 4th of September. The following morning I sent out a message to a few close friends who knew what was going on at the house, and I received a message back from a good friend of mine, Sam Townsend, sending his and his wife Kanika's love. But he also said something that I didn't really understand at the time. He said to me, "Be prepared, Kevin, you could find this overwhelming." And boy was he right. The family's role in everything that happens is absolutely enormous. From when Pook's father passed away, his body was then washed by the family and then dressed in his favourite clothes. In the morning we went to the local temple, collected the coffin and also a refrigerated casket where his body would be placed until the day of the cremation. The speed and organisation of what would become a 6-day funeral was astounding. It really was. The carport became a temporary kitchen, and friends and family came from miles around to help out. From early on that Monday morning, the house was full of people coming and going, sitting down, having some food, talking about Pook's dad and the great memories that they had of him. At around about 6:30 in the evening, 4 monks arrived at the house to perform the first part of the ceremony. The ceremony itself lasted for about 30 minutes, and then the monks left, and then for the rest of the evening until quite late into the night, people were still arriving, coming to pay their respects and to share their stories and their memories of Pook's dad. The following day was pretty much the same, with even more people showing up, paying their respects. And the same 4 monks were back at the house in the evening to carry on with the ceremony. "7th of September, day 3, and the same again. Just so many people showing up every day and in the evening, and then again in the evening the same 4 monks show up at the house to do a similar ceremony, again lasting about 30 minutes. You know, I didn't realise, I just didn't have a clue as to how many people Pook's father and the family know and how well respected the family are. Just didn't have a clue. Day 4, it's the 8th of September and it's the day of the cremation. It's the final day of the main part of the funeral ceremony. I've got to say something, these ladies who are preparing the food in the kitchen, they're unbelievable. They've been up at 4 a.m. every single morning. The procession to the local temple was led by a local monk and Pook's 2 young nephews. Something else that I found really strange in the months leading up to when Pook's father passed away was that he'd often talk about death and his funeral quite openly with the family. Sometimes they'd be getting upset, sometimes he would make them laugh. And a perfect example of that was he insisted that he didn't want that dreary, sad music playing as his body was being taken to the temple, And so they respected his word and they didn't have that music playing. But when he asked about it, we were sitting in our garden and he said, just don't play that dreary music going to the temple. And he stood up and started dancing and mimicking the music that's usually played at the temples, and everyone burst out laughing, of course. Anyone who knew Pook's father would know how much he loved his pickup truck. He was so proud of it. And the family decided that his last journey should be in that pickup truck that meant so much to him. Our local temple, when we arrived there, was absolutely packed, with friends, family, local politicians and government officials. At this point, the coffin's left open so that people can pay their last respects, and they pour coconut water over the body. It's a kind of cleansing thing before the body's cremated. Most of you will already know that my name for Pook's dad was the Sunshine Superman, and he was just that. He was a ray of sunshine and most certainly a Superman. For a man of his age, he was incredible. He had the physique, the strength and the ability of a 20-year-old, and he seemed to spend as much of his life up in a tree, either pruning it or collecting fruit, as he did down on the ground. He wasn't a vain man, but he was very proud. He would always be having his hair cut to keep it in shape, and during COVID, Pook had to do it for him. Didn't quite get it right though. He was singing a song one day and Pook was laughing. I said, what's he singing? He was walking around the house saying, oh no, I look like a little monk. He'd often be doing things to make us laugh, like this day when he came out of the bedroom dressed in one of the nephew's school uniforms.
1, 2, 3,
4,
4,
5,
5,
6.
6.
Yay, that's right. Perfect.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There you go, he's got it. Hang on.
Nhưng mà ọp bà chứ.
So look, so what I'm doing now, I'm adding pictures to Facebook. Okay? Okay?
บอกเขาว่าหนีอยู่นี่
What's that?
ฮะ
No, adding pictures.
ว่า
Adding pictures to Facebook so everyone can see in the world, yes? You understand?
เออ
Coach May?
กลับคืนกลับใจกลับคืน
Good. Teaching him Facebook.
เพราะว่าเราว่าป้าเป็น
Gonna open a Facebook account for him.
เอาบ้านทางนี้เอาเลยเนี่ยกลับทางเก่านะ
Now I'm finding it funny. This was just 2 years ago, where he was out weeding one of his rice fields and always ready for a joke, following Pook's instructions as she filmed him.
เต้นน้ำเต้นน้ำดึงแม่ดึงเวลานี้ก่อนเด้อ